Good evening. This is Rev Talk with Beverly, Reverend Beverly, and Reverend Kimberly. We go by Bev and Kim, and I'm going to let her introduce the topic for today because it's a very trigger point on how powerful our words are.
Yes. And as I was saying, there's a video, there's a gentleman on YouTube that I like to watch because he inspires me. Having left his job in Washington, D.C., he and his wife moved up to Vermont and started a farm. And it's been going on for about 4 years now, I think. And he videos, his successes, his failures, the challenges and everything. It's just fun to watch. And of course, he is farming ducks and geese and chickens. And he does the funniest thing where when he opens the door to the duck house, he always says, "Release the quacking." And all these ducks come running down. And I don't know what it is, but it makes me laugh every single time. And so I enjoy watching him. And he's been having some issues with hound hunting going on his private property. And it's apparently a very hot topic between hunters. And he is a hunter, but he does not agree with the hound hunting the way they do it. It's like they just put a GPS tracker on the collar and then let him loose. So they're like chasing after a bear or whatever, and there's no control over the dog. So anyway, he just had this video mentioning somebody that he kind of respected and liked and enjoyed watching. And this guy just attacked him personally, pretty much. I mean, he made fun of his videos. He made fun of the titles of the videos. It wasn't even anything to do about the subject of hound hunting and all that. It had nothing to do with it. It was a personal attack, and that struck a chord in me that I allowed to bother me. I let it bother me, and I had to kind of figure out part of the reason why. And as I said to you, I remember in high school, there was a young man, his name was Andy, and he was developmentally challenged. And he kind of went through the different grades with us, although they had him in different classes, different classrooms, I should say. And in high school, I remember once at in the lunchroom, I'm sitting at a table with some of my friends, and another friend of mine was at another table, and they were egging him on and kind of making fun of him and laughing at him. And that I was really angry about that too. And I threw a paper cup at the guy that I know, and I told him, I said, "You know what, knock it off. You know better than to do that. That's not even cool. It's no way to do that." And so I think that's part of what bothers me. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, how much power do I give somebody else for what they're saying? And is it just the words, or is it the intent behind it, or the action that has the power? You know what I mean?
Yes. Words are powerful beyond belief, but the power from the words is on the other end of how they respond or accept them. Do they let it antagonize them? Do they take offense? Do they fight against it? Do they disagree? We can all disagree, but you listen to both sides. And in that situation, there wasn't a chance to disagree. It was a pure act of maliciousness against Andy. And so you being it's kind of like me. I'm always protected of the underdog. I always want to nurture and protect them. But see, Andy didn't see anything in it. You did. And that would be the power was taken by you of the words he sent and told Andy to do, not by Andy doing the things. And yes, Andy didn't understand it, and again, that's you wanting to nurture and protect. So we have to be very careful with words giving them power when there was no power. However, being able to show someone how to know right from wrong, to show someone, would you like to see the way this should be done, Andy? Your mom doesn't allow you to do this. So he could see, oh yeah, I would have been in trouble, because he knows those things. Those are innate. And it's just, Jeff was just pushing buttons, and he seems to be a pot stirrer anyhow. And I think larger scope of this is it's people who stir up old stuff that has been laid to rest that gets us where we think we have it settled. We think we've let it go, and it's not completely let go. And I think that's what antagonizes us more, because, oh, I have to work on something else. Oh, I handled this. I gave them their free will. I just let them be. It's their choice. But we say the words, we haven't fully believed them yet.
So, and that's a tough one. And you're right. I agree that you're right. I did not recognize right away that the trigger went back as far as it did, and it could have gone back even farther. There is always that. And so how, and of course, I guess it's not an easy solve. It's how do we resolve this where, and I guess, I don't know, maybe there isn't a.
It's that saying that I despise. You just have to go deeper still. And
oh my God.
That's a trigger for me, because we don't realize how many layers the onions have to that one incident. And it could go even back to your childhood, your family.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's many layers, and we think, oh, got this.
Yeah, and I suppose, there, you and I are willing to look into the abyss of our lives. It's not easy. It's scary at times. It is scary. I mean, there is that, and again, it shouldn't have to be, because it's just us. We're just working with it. We've got our angels. We got a whole team with us, helping us, and yet there's still that human,
It's fear.
Yeah, wanting to be perfect, or
we are perfect.
Exactly. And then the ego says, well, no, you can't be perfect because you do this and you do this. Mm-hmm. But you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's theirs to work through. With the video, with those, it's theirs to work through. I get to work through why it triggers me so much, and to just allow it, and to understand that that's their path. It's part of their journey. It's part of their interaction. So yeah, thank you for that. And like you had said before, taking some deep breaths. Before, and I thought about that too, before
you threw the cup.
I wasn't quite as enlightened back then. Yeah, it's a matter of, and I thought about this as well. I didn't tell you this I was talking to my angels and they were saying, you don't have to have a conversation. It doesn't have to be ding, 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 ding. You don't have to be having this back and forth all the time. You can take that pause and breathe before you react and respond. And in that pause is when you let us come through and you can recognize and diffuse whatever, issues might be, whatever anger or,
But see, anger and frustration, those are reactions.
yeah,
Said it. Take that breath so we don't react, so we
right.
can respond. And that says it all right there.
Yeah, it's a practice that, and I thought to myself when they were telling me this, I was like, oh, you're right. I don't have to immediately come back with some response. I can take that pause before responding. And it's so easy when you're frustrated and angry. It's so easy to just like, fire off stuff that later on. And that's what I do later on. I start I start running through these conversations after the fact.
Why? Yeah. Why did I do that? I know better.
Yes. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I could handle that so much better. So yeah, and again, I think that's part of what's going on more in the world. That yes, words have power with, and I'm all about tone and sound. So there's something about the human voice that I think adds to that power and the intent of the person. Like so, somebody could say something and it's misinterpreted, by me, might not have necessarily meant anything the way I interpreted it. But if I'm misinterpreting the tone as well, that's again I guess the responsibility of,
It's learning to speak from your heart. You must listen, not hear the person. You must listen to the person so you understand it, so that you can incorporate the tones and everything, but take it to within yourself before you respond, so that you, no matter what you say and how you project those words, you're saying it innocently and with love.
Right. And yes, it doesn't matter how somebody perceives what you've said, as long as you're saying it from a place of love and respect. You're right. Yes,
that's hard to actually do. And two, it's even harder when that person doesn't accept it. Now that triggers me. I'm saying something from love and it turns around to a big argument. Well, you didn't understand what I said. You didn't listen to me. And then I have to back up, take a step back and remain calm and just say, well, I guess I misunderstood you, but this is how I feel.
That's good. I've read years ago, I read, there were a couple of books that in order to diffuse something, somebody cannot argue with you about how you feel.
Because that's your personal space.
Exactly. So that's actually very good. Thank you for that. I mean, and again, I have a tendency to I'm very non-confrontational. So if somebody gets in my face, my brains fall out of my ears, and I just kind of lose my equilibrium. I was like, because I'm never intending on pissing somebody off. But
yeah, because you're saying it with love. Yeah, see, you're saying things with love, not even thinking, but they're not there yet.
Okay. Yeah, yes, you're right. You're right. That's true. I kind of make that assumption that everybody is on the same wavelength as I am, and that's not the case. It's
That
not
is
that
so
they're,
true.
it's not that they're, it's not an any less or more kind of thing. It's just, a different wavelength. And
It's like the third to the fifth dimension. We're all there and we're all heading in the same, but we're not on the same path right now.
right, right. Oh, I like that. That's good. Thank you for that. So yeah, I, I think for me anyway, it's a matter of being present, paying closer attention. I mean, I have to give myself a pat on the back because I recognized that I was being triggered again by this, and recognized it pretty quickly, and then tried to figure out, where else in my life that had occurred. And that was one of the biggest ones that came up, was that one incident in high school.
See, those are all excellent lessons. You are moving forward because you are aware of this and you're starting to, oh, I have to buy.
Yeah. Although there's a part of me that's like, you know what, I'm tired of trying to figure it out. Like there are times I'm like, really? I thought I was done with this. Oh my gosh. But I did read something that it's like, don't take it as that you haven't progressed. Take it that there is something else, maybe not for me either, to address it again. I'm releasing that energy for them as well, who were involved and maybe clueless, about what happened, or they don't feel bad about it, and I need to get over feeling bad about it.
That was just like the story I said last week where the young man put his arm around his friend walking to school and the boy took offense to it. 22 years later, he never meant anything by it.
Yeah.
Both were healed just by bringing that up. And that's so you just brought it up to you so you can release it.
Yes, that's good. Thank you. I do feel better about that. Breathing is a good thing, people.
My kids and my family laugh at me. Oh, she's upset. She's deep breathing. Oh, what's going on? Nothing. I'm fine. I just need more air.
That's good though. I like that. I love the fact that you do that, where you take a deep breath because you're being consciously
Aware of it.
proactive,
Yeah.
and not engaging, whereas I kind of stumble around and I'm like caught off guard. And then I'm like, deer in the headlights,
What do I do?
I because, and I do have to, I say again, I'm sitting at the bottom of this spiritual ocean, and life is good, la 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 la, and whoo, somebody's
Here
in my
comes
face.
someone in your face.
Exactly. And it just throws me.
All right.
Like, okay, not as bad as it used to. So I will, I'll give myself that.
Yeah. Well, I just, when you were talking about that, because I breathe quite a bit and people are aware because I really deep breathe. When it doesn't work for me or they're making fun of me or trying, tease me, I almost shut down and get really tired. And they go, oh, you tired? And I immediately respond, well, normally I go to bed at 4 o'clock because it's pitch black in Washington at 4 o'clock and 20 degrees. So I get ready for bed. And I did that yesterday because I was with my grandkids all day. And I was breathing heavily. I mean, it wasn't anything wrong, but the energies were so consistent about I've got something I have to deal with. I need to do this. And then she goes, Mom, are you really tired? And I says, yeah, I'm really tired. And so I left. But that's another thing. I think that's like a trigger, but it's a trigger, it's an escape for me. Instead of dealing with it, I become very tired.
Well, but again, you're dealing with, I mean, how many kids were around you?
Just 2 kids and my daughter.
And
But
that's a lot of energy.
yeah, yeah.
Kids have this infinite amount of energy sometimes, it seems. And it can be like a constant barrage and you're not used to that. You're not. I mean, unless you're around it 24/7 and you don't have to be, but that's also very good as far as letting you know when you've had enough.
Yeah, I that's one thing now I can
Yeah.
really feel it.
I mean, that's actually a very good um, barometer for you when, okay, you've had enough, instead of staying and being pummeled even more. You were like, yep, you know what? Time to go.
Yeah,
Time to go.
good because now I don't feel so guilty.
Don't feel guilty. No, honestly, it's because it is about you taking care of yourself as well. You got to take care of yourself, and your body and the angels were also telling you, okay, that's enough. There's enough is enough. And I know what you're talking about too, now that you say that. Now that you bring that up, I've had that happen. I've had that happen where it's almost a knee-jerk reaction. It was with my family, and where it's like, yep, yep, that's enough. I gotta go now. Love you all. Bye. But yes, it's we're very sensitive people. We're highly sensitive, empaths, and it does affect us more than other
So
people. So again,
that's good to know.
words being pummeled at you with all that energy, yeah, I think that's a great barometer. I love that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I just endured it. And that's like, and so I think that's great that you have that barometer, and it's a good thing, that you do. That's good.
I just noticed it. So now I'm being observant to my physical body and what it's telling me now. That's one of the tenets. And I say it every day. And every ache and pain I pay attention to, but I don't pay attention to the norm. And now I'm figuring norm is the little quirks like I just got. You're tired, not the little aches and pains all the time.
That's good. I like that. I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I was saying that this morning as I was doing my exercises while I was brushing my teeth.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
And my one knee was like, like, I listen to the spiritual. It's just telling me that we're out of shape. Okay.
It's thank you. You're moving me now.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I love that. I love that. That it's good. It is a good indicator, and I'm also paying more attention because you've had me pay more attention.
That's
So
good.
thank you for that. But yeah, it's good. It's all good.
It's good for you all the way around, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Yes.
It's just one entity.
And I have to, I must remember the deep breathing. I do have a tendency, and I think that's part of it too. When you get, obviously, when you're afraid or you're angry or you get tense and you breathe more shallow. And I kind of breathe shallow a lot anyway. So reminding myself to take deeper breaths also allows that pause,
It has to.
which I think is a good idea. I think that's great.
It is.
So, all right, dear, what do you think?
I think
Complete?
I think it's complete. We handled it. And everybody needs to be aware that words do have power.
Yes, they do. And
You accept them or you release them.
that's great. I love that. I love that. So, okay, I guess with that, everyone, we will see you next time. And remember, be kind with yourself, be gentle to yourself. And without you, the song of the universe would be incomplete. So this is Reverend Kim saying goodbye.
Reverend? None,
Next
Reverend.
time, lots of love
And hugs.
and hugs. Good hugs.
Yes.